To start off, firstly, allow me to thank the organizers for inviting me to be part of to be a panelist at this platform. You are indeed doing a great job for the industry. Let me shine some light on the content of my presentation. I'll briefly talk about the Namibian Port Authority and the Namibian corridors, as this will be my focus area with regard to the challenges and future opportunities in ports and terminals. And then I'll end my presentation with the way forward. To start off, the Namibian Port Authority is a very young port authority. We were established in 1994 as a commercialized state-owned entity mandated by government of Namibia to efficiently manage and operate the only two ports in Namibia. That's the port of Walvis Bay, which is the main port, and a fairly smaller port in the southern part of Namibia, the port of Ludretz, to serve also as a gateway for the Southern African community, linking the hinterland with world economic hubs. In terms of our governance structure, the Port Authority is both the landlord and the port operator. Through these years, as you can see, the ports are linked with various corridors that provide the gateway into the hinterland. We have seen, or the linkage have displayed encouraging performance in terms of volume throughput. With the next slide, I just want to share with you some of the statistics. In 2010, 2011, we only handled close to 500,000 tons of cargo along this corridor, with Angola taking the biggest chunk. I'm pleased to inform you that the corridor have now joined the 1 million ton club of cargo that have been carried alongside all the corridor. And obviously this did not come easy. As you can see, Zambia is the busiest, or the corridor that links the ports with Zambia is the busiest corridor, followed by South Africa. In fact, with South Africa, we only started last year with the port of Ludretz, where the port is serving as a gateway for manganese export out of the Northern Cape. In terms of port challenges, obviously there are various. I've identified only 5, linking them to our current operation as Namport. Well, even though we recently inaugurated a new Walvis Bay container terminal with world-class infrastructure, we are still faced with challenges of aging infrastructure and lack of adequate port equipment. The ability of our port to increase capacity and handle cargo more efficiently is vital to the health of all our clients. With COVID-19 pandemic, I must say, we actually had the opportunity to showcase our capabilities insofar as some of the disruption that took place with carriers networks. Now, apart from the COVID-19 pandemic, the challenges that we actually face is actually, we have already identified them before this pandemic. What we see is that the cascading effect, where carriers now need fewer vessels to carry the same number of containers, is putting a lot of pressures on us as ports to invest in port infrastructure to be able to handle bigger vessels. I'm proud to announce that 2 weeks ago, for the first time at the port of Walvis Bay, we handled the biggest container vessel, the Mercianes. She is 335 meters long and a beam of 42 meters. So if it was not for the expansion of for the construction of our new container terminal, we were not going to be able to bring her in. So we successfully handled her, and we just hope that going forward, we will be able to handle vessels of that magnitude. Now, another challenge that we have also, that have become imminent is that carriers are consistently reviewing their networks, therefore applying more pressure on us as ports, as changes are affected on a regular basis by these carriers. Sometimes this leads to short shipments, longer stay of containers in ports, and disrupt the entire port planning. With all these developments, the issue of human resource and training has been a cause of concern as well. The workforce have to be kept continuously abreast with new technology, new ways of doing things more efficiently, and this demand for culture change and adapting to new habits. The shortage of marine pilots, marine engineers, and other specialized type of job in our industry continue to be a serious challenge from our point of view. Now, with regard to trade regulation and barriers, as ports serving mostly land-linked countries, we sometimes run the risk of handling cargoes that are restricted from entering particular countries due to new regulation at the country of destination. We recently had to keep reefer containers in the port for a very long time because the country of destination decided overnight not to allow certain products until further notice. So that really have a negative bearing on the efficient operation of our port. Now, with regard to opportunities, we see the port of Walvis Bay as a strategic location to also serve the west coast of Africa as a transshipment hub. I will show you some pictures of how we were impacted during COVID-19 due to this network disruption. There are sufficient, now at the port of Walvis Bay, there is sufficient space. We have deeper draft. As I said, we are now able to accommodate the vessels of a length of 335 meters with efficient port operation. And one thing really is that at the port of Walvis Bay, which is the major port in Namibia, there's minimal interruption of vessel operation due to weather condition. Obviously, port infrastructure is very much capital intensive. Now, the Namibian government have adopted measures to meet the infrastructural development needs of the country by leveraging private sector capital through private-public partnership. And the ports were identified as a potential PPP project. As procedure will soon commence with a detailed feasibility on PPP participation in port operation. Further, in terms of transportation and logistics support services, the role of transport and logistics have become increasingly important for Namibia's economy. With the rapid growth in cargo volumes along the Walvis Bay corridors and the benefit that the trade routes have offered, Walvis Bay is ideally placed as a logistic hub for Southern Africa. This brings opportunities for transport and logistics service providers to put up shop in Namibia for the purpose of offering seamless supply chain via Namibia into the Southern African development community. Now, if you look at the status of our port before COVID-19, this terminal is a new there is a new Walvis Bay container terminal, was inaugurated last year in August. As you can see, there was not so much activities at this terminal, but now, as of February, carriers have opted to divert some of their cargo as transshipment through this terminal. And from what we were told is that we are not really doing a bad job. We are able to turn around vessels faster and also able to feed other ports along the west coast of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the way forward, what we see is that in order to remain efficient, we need to continuously enhance and develop our ICT infrastructure. Key to these developments is the customer relationship management. At the end of the day, we provide a service to a customer. Therefore, we need to understand their requirements. We also need to drive towards single window platform to provide a seamless movement of cargo through our borders. Obviously, not all the clients require a similar solution. Tailor-made solution for our customer, I think, should be the way forward. Importantly, our employees should be incentivized as they are at the forefront of making sure that the ports and terminal remain afloat. Now, one thing that we have learned from this pandemic is that to remain resilient, we need to strengthen our capabilities in Africa to be able to react to unforeseen circumstances at all times. So with that short presentation, I think I will end there. And thank you very much for the opportunity.